Greetings, film fanatics. Filmholmes here, and welcome to another rendition of Too Many Movies. So yes, Suicide Squad. Suicide Squad finally came out this weekend. I went and saw it on Saturday, and even though the critics' reviews have been atrocious, I think it's down to like 25 or 26%, I was still just so damn excited to see it. It looked like it was going to be a lot of fun. And was it? Reviews have been really mixed, and some fans really love it, some fans really hate it. Let's get to my thoughts on it. So yeah, the plot of Suicide Squad, I really can't fucking explain it. I can't. I really don't know what to say about it because it makes no goddamn sense. At least the second half of the movie. The script for this is horribly put together. And people can say it's because of the reshoots they did, but no, they did reshoots for humor. Had nothing to do with story as far as I know. And if it did happen that way, then they really fucked it up. I know they cut out a lot from this movie too, so maybe we'll get an ultimate edition of the Suicide Squad that'll make a lot more fucking sense. Because there seems to be a lot cut out that should not have been cut out. But this script, the way, like the first half, I really enjoy it. Oh my god. The way they introduce all the main characters is done really, really well. Amanda... I already forgot her name. Sorry. Amanda Waller. Is that it? Yeah, Amanda Waller, played by Viola Davis. She's not like, I don't think the comics, but even the DC animated movies, she's supposed to be like a huge woman, but she plays the character with no remorse. She embodies Amanda Waller. She really does, and she was kind of scary. No remorse, almost no soul. But she gets together this Suicide Squad, this squad of really, it's a backup plan basically, of these murderers and just really bad people like Deadshot and Harley Quinn and Boomerang and Killer Croc, and Katana is also part of it. She's not really a part of the Suicide Squad, she's kind of on the side of the good guys, the military, but she's there, just these band of misfits that the world doesn't like, but they could do some good. And they put them together, and then this evil enchantress tries to take over the world, of course, and to kind of take from the nostalgia critic for a second, that old joke, but still one of my favorites, from the Street Fighter movie, played by the, is it Juan Julia? From Addams Family movies, which I love, but just him going, of course! Getting off subject, but she's trying to take over the world, and what a horrible villain to go with. This plotline made no sense. At least I couldn't follow it. I gave up trying to follow the damn plotline. It was stupid. You really couldn't have found anyone else for the Suicide Squad to fight. Like I said, the first half of the script is very well done. It did a great job. It was different, and the music played a really cool part. The soundtrack is kickin'. If I can borrow a term from my time era of the 90s, it is kickin'. I have the soundtrack on my phone. It is so good, and the songs do a pretty good job, in blending in with the movie. And the way the editing was done. The editing in this movie I heard was horrible, but it was actually pretty cool. Like, the humor and the drama fit together fairly well. It didn't bother me. And, the drama would kind of come out of nowhere, but it still was done, as well as it could be in a movie about a Suicide Squad, a comic book movie. But the editing in the beginning was showing the characters' background, or backstories and stuff was so cool. Like, Deadshot's and Harley Quinn's were the best. So much fun, and it got me pumped up for the movie. And like I said, the first half of the script, when they're getting together and Amanda Waller's putting them together and all this stuff, that stuff was amazing. But the moment the mission started, I couldn't follow it at all. It was stupid. And the Enchantress character was dumb, and I didn't like it. I didn't like that part of it. But at the same time, the action was fun. The climax was fine. You know, when it comes down to, Suicide Squad is just a dumb, fun movie. And I wanted more because they built this movie up like it was going to be the renaissance of superhero movies. At least that's how I took it. Like Jared Leto's Joker was going to be, you know, the best Joker ever. And maybe that's not what they were trying to go for, but that's how I took it. The way that they would talk about the movie, like this was going to be a groundbreaking superhero movie. It was going to change everything. And it's not going to change diddly shit. Okay? It's a cool movie, but it's almost trying to be like Guardians of the Galaxy cool, where Guardians of the Galaxy stood out because of its soundtrack, the way that it was put together, its humor. And I think they thought this was this was DC's answer to Guardians of the Galaxy, and it's not. Guardians has a few problems, but it is a far better movie than Suicide Squad. At least the plot made sense. And the villain, even though it was a weak villain, still was a proper villain for the Guardians of the Galaxy to get together. Suicide Squad did not have a proper villain. And really, I didn't buy why they'd even want to save the world. Like, I know it's a world that they live in, but minus Deadshot, they really didn't give anyone proper reasoning to save the world. They're bad guys. Why the fuck would they care? Because there isn't going to be a world there for them to take over? It wasn't really well explained. It wasn't well written at all. You know, and I've bitched enough about the story. The story was trash. A horrible, horrible script. The people who wrote this, or the person, whatever, actually, I think it was the director, David Ayer, and he did a great job directing it. You know, the action scenes were they were good action scenes, but too much of the close camera angles. You know, it's just like, bring it out. I want to see what's going on. You don't have to be up there close with shaky cam, okay? Just show us what's going on. The direction was fine, but the script was awful. And Suicide Squad is a pretty popular comic, so you would think that they would be able to have a better story than this. They'd have a better adaptation, but apparently not. But the cast is great. Like I said, Viola Davis did a good job. Will Smith does a great job as Deadshot. I didn't see Will Smith. I saw Deadshot. Margot Robbie as Harley Quinn. She did a fantastic job. And to see her in the original Harley Quinn outfit, like from the animated series, that was bitchin'. You know, Batman does make a couple appearances in the movie, which you see that in the trailer anyway, so it's not a spoiler. That was awesome. You know, all the characters that play members of the Suicide Squad do a really good job. The guy who plays Boomerang was hilarious. He was great. The guy who plays, I almost said Pyro, Diablo, did a fantastic job. I was disappointed with his story in it, though, and you'll see why. But for all the characters, I really liked. I even liked the guy, the main military guy. I don't remember his name. I'm not going to look it up. I don't care. He did a good job, but his overall story with the Enchantress is fucking bullshit. It's stupid. I was okay with it at first, but then it was stupid. And there's supposed to be like this big twist in the middle of the movie. I think that's what they were going for, where Will Smith finds this binder about the mission, throws it at the military guy and says, "You have some explaining to do, tell him what's going on." And he basically just tells us exactly what we already knew. So don't build up the scene like it's some fucking twist, like in a Shyamalan movie, one of the good ones, one of the few good ones. That was stupid. That was lazy writing, and a lot of this is kind of lazy writing. But a lot of the jokes are really good, and there are some jokes that were in the trailer that weren't in the movie. They got cut out. It was kind of disappointing because they were good jokes. So again, I'm hoping for an Ultimate Edition of Suicide Squad to make it better. Because this movie, I think, was supposed to be great. I don't know if the studio got involved or what, but it should have been longer. This movie should have been longer. It wouldn't have made up for the villain, but some stuff doesn't really make some sense, but the story still flows well. The movie flows well. I think it's almost 2 hours, I think, and it went by fairly fast. I mean that in a good way. But of course, the big character that everyone is talking about, I mean, minus Margot Robbie as Harley Quinn, and again, she does a really good job. She looks the part. It's a different take. She's sexy as hell, of course. She has the voice. The voice matched perfectly. She slips sometimes because she's Australian, I believe, but fantastic voice work. Like, she could do voice work in the video games or the DC animated movies, and it would match perfectly. She did a great job. But Jared Leto as the Joker. A lot of people, when they first saw this, they were, maybe bothered by the take on Joker. I'm in the middle. It's something different, and there's nothing wrong with that. I like the way he looks, minus the grills, the teeth. I don't like that. And I know now why they did it, because they basically make Joker out to be a gangster. I don't like that. A friend of mine, she explained why that sucks so much, and she's right. I'm sorry. I like Jared Leto as a Joker. I don't really like how far he went to become the Joker on set. I think he needs to kind of chill when it comes to his acting methods. If any of that's true, it may not be. It may just be publicity for the movie. But if it's true, he needs to just chill. There are plenty of actors out there who don't need to send dead animals to their castmates. It just, whatever. Heath Ledger didn't terrorize the Dark Knight set. He just became the Joker on his own. He tortured himself, not the rest of the crew. And it almost wasn't really worth it, because Joker's not really in the movie that much. When he is, you expect him to steal the scenes. And to me, he doesn't. It didn't fall flat completely, but to me the biggest issue with the movie and the Joker, it's the movie shoving in your face that we're different, this is different, this is cool, this is hip. I don't like that. That's what it felt like. The movie felt very pretentious to me. And what I mean by that is, it was trying so hard to be different that it showed its true colors. That instead of just being different, it was trying to be different. Where like Guardians was just different. It was a different style of superhero movies, a different style of Marvel movie. Suicide Squad, to me, it was just like one of those kids in high school who's trying to fit in. And I didn't like that, because this movie didn't need it. The trailers were very well done, and the movie is well done, but it didn't live up to the hype at all. At all. It's just a dumb, fun superhero movie. And frankly, I expected more. I didn't go in with high expectations. I came out satisfied, but still very disappointed. I look forward to seeing Jared Leto's Joker in future installments. I do. I want him to get more screen time. I get why he didn't in this one, but at the same time, they built him up like, you wait till he's Jared Leto. He changes the game. He changes Joker. He changes it. It's like, no, he really didn't. It's Joker with a bunch of tattoos. He's a gangster, and that's not Joker. I'm fine with a different adaptation. If this is the Joker we're getting for a while, I have no problem with that. I'm a huge fan of Jared Leto. And I like his interpretation of the Joker, but at the same time, it doesn't go where it's supposed to. And I hope it does in future movies. It just almost fell flat for me. I wasn't that impressed. And that's the thing, the movie didn't impress me like I thought it would. Again, Marvel they keep impressing me with a lot of these new movies, and DC hasn't yet. But once again, I didn't hate Suicide Squad. I liked it a lot. I was very entertained by it, and I was happy that I saw it in theaters. And I'll buy it when it comes out. Mainly because I want to keep up with the DC movies, same as Marvel. I want to support them. But here's the thing. You have to find better script writers. Suicide Squad's script falls apart in the second half. Find someone who can make the scripts good from beginning to end. Either give them more time or find better writers. And it was the same thing in Batman v Superman and Man of Steel. Those were David S. Goyer's. I'm not putting all the blame on him, but he's an idiot anyway. And David Ayer, who wrote Suicide Squad, if I'm getting that wrong, I'm sorry, but I believe that's right. He did a great job directing, but he needs some help with the script. He needs some help with the script. He's not like James Gunn, who did Guardians. He's just not that good of a script writer. At least this doesn't showcase if he is a good script writer. But overall, I still give Suicide Squad right now a 3.5 out of 5. It's a little above average. And even though I don't like how pretentious the movie comes off as, it is different. It's a different style. It's very colorful. It looks different. And it does kind of feel different. It's obviously trying so hard. And you don't have to do that. You don't have to try so damn hard. These characters are already different. You're making a movie about a group of really bad people trying to save the world. And a lot of people are saying, like, well, it's DC's version of Guardians. In a lot of ways, that's true. But Guardians, the people that were in it weren't the worst of the worst. They're still not horrible people. The people in Suicide Squad are horrible people. And you really should have played on that more. But they didn't. And again, their motives for saving the world don't really make sense. You know, the story is convoluted and doesn't really go anywhere. But it is what it is. I do recommend going to see it in theaters if you're a comic book fan, even if you're a Suicide Squad comic fan. I think it's well worth your time. It's fun. Like I said, 3.5 out of 5. That's my opinion on it. I do look forward to watching it again when it comes out on Blu-ray, but it's not a movie I'm going to go see again in theaters, if that tells you anything. So, there you go. That was Suicide Squad. I don't think it deserves 25% ratings from critics. I think critics, something is going on there. Critics are being way too harsh on it. I'm sorry. I'm a film connoisseur, and I don't know everything about films, but the things they're talking about, how the editing was awful, the direction was awful, no, both were fine. I've seen much worse in movies that you gave higher scores to, like in the 50s. I think Suicide Squad should be in like the 60s. You know, if it was in the 60s and maybe, I think it's in the high 70s for audiences, I think that would make sense. But 25%, I'm sorry, that's bullshit. You know, they have to realize what kind of movie they're seeing, and they can't just judge it completely on the filmmaking aspects. You have to also see it from an entertainment standpoint, and I was very entertained. So, that was Suicide Squad. This was another edition of Too Many Movies with me, Filmholmes, and I will see you in the next video. Take care.